Gilbert, we are finally dusting off Combat Compas. We are back. We are talking a little Royal Rumble preview. Fernando Ramirez, Gilbert Manzano. If you guys forgot, hopefully you guys didn't. Gilbert, what's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's been a long time since we discussed combat sports, and you said, you know what, the Royal Rumbles this weekend. We gotta, dust off everything here on the channel. But it's good to be back. I like seeing the gloves hanging on combat compas.
Because there's been a lot. I mean, a lot going on, UFC wise, wrestling wise. Like, we're about to start. I mean, we're on the road to WrestleMania as of right now. Obviously, I was able to go to day one of WWE, so The Rock came back. There was a lot of good stuff that kind of teased some stuff coming up for the road to WrestleMania, and there's been a lot of talk of what's going to happen moving forward. Is Cody going to finish the story? Is what's CM Punk's role going into WrestleMania? All that stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other stuff. The Rock, thanks to I don't know if you heard, Gilbert, but thanks to the new deal with Netflix, The
Yeah.
Rock officially joins TKO. He was on the board of directors now. He was on First Take this week. He was on a couple of shows, and he spoke about potentially Roman Reigns versus him. We'll talk a little bit about, because I remember he when he was here, he said, "I'm gonna go out tonight in San Diego," and everybody's like, "Whoa, is that like an open invitation? Like, is he telling us like, hey, come out and drink with me?" He's like, "Should I sit in a booth?" And I remember I looked at like Dan and Diego, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Should I sit at the bar?" We're like, "What is he talking about?" He's like, "Or should I sit at the head of the table?" And everybody's like, "Oh, okay." Like, now we know where he's going. Obviously, Roman
An
Reigns
actual
tweeted out,
table too.
exactly. Roman Reigns just tweeted out laughing emojis when it came to that. But Gilbert, growing up, it was The Rock, Stone
Yeah.
Cold Steve Austin. But Gilbert, I mean, you could talk about it, but that's a beauty of wrestling, that in the NFL and the NBA, you can't really ask yourself, what would it be like to see Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant go at it, or these guys in wrestling? You can see John Cena and The Rock go at it. That's kind of the beauty, I think, of wrestling.
Yeah, and they usually save it for WrestleMania, and obviously, as a cliche, the road starts through Royal Rumble, so you get all the storylines, and you're already seeing the seeds being planted. With The Rock being in San Diego, you were there for that, so that's pretty cool. But sometimes I kind of get annoyed because like they show too much love to the former star and not the current star. But they did a nice job with Roman Reigns, and now that build up to where he is, the champion for many many days, 1,000 days or whatever, going for the record, and then you bring in the Brahma Bull, The Rock, and we thought maybe in LA that could occur. WrestleMania. Not that it was still a good show with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, but now it's like we're a year later, and I still want to see. I want to see what The Rock has. As you know, Fernando, I'm a big fan of The Rock because, obviously he doesn't have the same A game, obviously on the mic and in the ring, but I still say, Fernando, maybe you could correct me, but I think he's the best of all time when it came to microphone skills. I keep watching his YouTube videos. They always make me laugh when he's talking to Jonathan Coachman, things like that. So it's pretty cool to see. And then even like Roman Reigns, like he did not have those skills on the mic, and he just kept getting better and better and better. And here we are.
Yeah, no, the Rock and Stone Cold Steve, I think those two are two of the unmatched. I think when you talk about like John Cena had to do it at a different era because cursing wasn't really
Yeah.
allowed. By the way, if people haven't checked him out on Impulsive with, I know Logan Paul's kind of a controversial guy. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but John Cena was on Impulsive and he talks about that era. He's like, it really wasn't me there, like it's who I wanted to try and be, and he talks about going from being the rapper to being the good guy John Cena and everything. And it was incredible to listen to John Cena speak about all that, and how he became the Superman of WWE, because WWE was struggling after The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin left. We all know The Rock went to Hollywood, Stone Cold had the neck injury and everything. But yeah, no, it's definitely unmatched what The Rock could do on the mic. But the thing is here is that it's now like we all know the lineage of The Rock and Roman Reigns. I mean, the family lineage is so deep. And then recently, I think Jey Uso just came out and said he feels that Rikishi still has one more WWE run in him,
Oh yeah.
his father.
Mm.
And I'm like, are you guys really teasing all this? Like, if potentially Rikishi could come back and do something, like especially with everything going on, I'm like, you guys are doing way too
You
much
know what
right
would be
now, but I'm
funny?
all
Yeah.
for it.
I know I'm not original here, but if Rikishi does come back, imagine him, getting in the car, running over Roman Reigns, and then I did it for The Rock. Kind of perfect,
Yeah, yeah. Like the old heads come back and they go up against a newer generation or something. I don't know. Like it's just so interesting. But obviously The Rock was on well let's just get into that. So The Rock was on First Take, and what he said was basically he said he was asked about if there's a chance that he could wrestle Roman Reigns, and he said, and I quote, "I'm a long gamer. I like to build. What this is, if myself and Roman Reigns were to main event WrestleMania, and I mean this very respectfully, we could put on with us as the main event this incredible group of men and women. We could put on the greatest and biggest main event of all time. Also, there's an opportunity for it to be seen more globally and basically expand the reach to new heights." Now, Gilbert, you know me. I'm all about storylines. I'm all about seeing things. To me, this does not mean this WrestleMania. This to me means
Really?
1 year from now. Build it, start building it from this point forward. And I think they're starting to kind of put the seeds there. I'm going to be honest. I saw The Rock in San Diego. He looked gassed just from doing a little bit of thing. Like he just did a couple of moves and he was a little bit gassed. So I think he needs to train for about a good couple of months. I know he's jacked, but WWE ring, I think he needs to wait a little bit and maybe a year from now at next year's WrestleMania, which I can't remember. I don't know if it's in Minneapolis or Las Vegas, I honestly think that I'm with you. I want to see it, but I think they need to wait on it.
What if they do the first ever Netflix pay-per-view bout, and then you get more subscribers on Netflix, win for them, and then you get more people to watch, Raw, and he's part of this new deal, and he wants, like you mentioned, he's a long builder. So maybe they have the crown jewel now, like that's kind of a new thing all of a sudden. That's kind of a big deal. I would not be surprised if it makes something for
No.
Netflix, and they keep charging more for prices. And when they got the new deal, they started charging for more ads. So maybe I could be wrong there, but it seems like everybody wants, a little piece of the pie.
Well, I think it's gonna be a WrestleMania. It's in Minnesota next year. That's
That's
man,
weird.
they missed their mark.
I don't know. I don't like about waiting another year. They could have done it in LA. That's why I feel like it's gonna be like some kind of one-off special show. That's what I feel like, but I
But
could be
it
wrong.
has to be WrestleMania. You wouldn't take it to Saudi Arabia. You wouldn't take like everybody was talking about possibly doing it in Australia, but it's not the Australia the Australia show in a month, which obviously we'll preview in a couple of weeks. That belongs to Rhea Ripley. That has to be Rhea Ripley main eventing that. She needs to be the face of that. That's her hometown. That's her going home. I don't think that should be taken away from her. But at the same time, I think this needs to be for the US. But maybe, yeah, Minnesota may be it. But yeah, I think we table Roman Reigns. I think they need to table it because I'm telling you, he just went at it a little bit with Jinder Mahal and he was breathing heavy, man. I think they need to table it for a year and kind of maybe start planting the seeds, maybe slowly but surely start doing a little bit more. But because Roman's really not said much about The Rock. It's been more of The Rock kind of planting the seeds. And then slowly but surely, like maybe Roman does something where maybe at SummerSlam, The Rock comes out and say, like, they could do exactly what they did with Cena the night after WrestleMania. The Rock shows up, or Roman shows up on Raw. I know Raw is not his, but he shows up on Raw. He says something, and The Rock comes out, and everybody's like, "Oh crap, what the hell's The Rock doing here?" And then obviously I don't know, he comes out and then they set it up. 1 year from now it'll be Roman Reigns versus The Rock for the head of the table, for the right to be the head of the table. And then, oh crap, okay, boom. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, but I know you'd get hyped for that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll watch, and that's why I'm saying. Like, I guess you're right. It is special if you do it at
Gilbert, no, you wouldn't
WrestleMania.
want you to be there.
No, I want to, but I'm saying like for me, I don't even care if it's WrestleMania or not. Wherever it is,
No, I
whatever
do.
time, place, I'll be there or watch. So, but I guess you want the grandest stage of them
I
all.
need the nostalgia. All right. So do you want to start with the match? You know what? We're talking Roman Reigns. So Gilbert, a couple of weeks ago, there was a triple threat match. LA Knight versus AJ, a returning AJ Styles and a returning Randy Orton. The winner got to face off against your tribal chief at the Royal Rumble. Roman didn't like that, so him and Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso attacked all of them. And Nick Aldis, the general manager, comes up, and Paul Heyman has a smile on his face. And Roman's in the ring after they had destroyed them, and he's all laughing and celebrating. Nick Aldis comes by Paul Heyman, and he goes, after he's done celebrating, let him know that congratulations, he's turned this into a fatal four-way match for the Universal Championship. And you just see his face, Paul Heyman's face just drop. Paul Heyman was on the Pat McAfee show actually on Thursday, and he said the tribal chief will stack him up. He'll put him down, and he'll pick him up, put him down, and stack him up. So, how intrigued are you? The big names, all three of them, very big names, especially with Roman Reigns. How intrigued are you for this match?
Yeah, this is a part of me where it's kind of like, okay, is it too obvious that Roman Reigns is gonna win because of everything you need for him to set up WrestleMania? Like, he's gonna be the main event, right? We don't know who's gonna face. Maybe not The Rock, like you're mentioning, probably a year from now. So that part kind of takes it away from you. But it's like, hey, you know what? I liked LA Knight for a bit. His team kind of took off, for a bit. So, when you have LA Knight there, a good name, and why not? Add some intrigue there, a little three-way match there. So, with Roman Reigns, dominating, it's got to find a way to kind of spin it. Where like, okay, it's very, interesting where something comes in. Maybe that's where The Rock comes in. Maybe he does lose the belt. I don't know. Whatever. I need to have some kind of spice to it because right now it feels like it's a little too predictable because the road where it goes is going to be at the head of the table.
Yeah, no, I think it is predictable. I think the only thing that could maybe make everybody freak out is Randy Orton. Because Randy keeps on plugging there and keeps on talking and keeps on saying things. So I don't know how much longer Randy Orton has. I mean, he had to do neck fusion surgery. He had to do a couple of things to get back. And we've heard about John Cena having to do some of these surgeries. Edge obviously had to do some of these to get back as well. Well, obviously Edge's was the worst one, but we'll see what happens with this. I have Roman winning this match. I just think that obviously he's the big catalyst. I'd like to see for the first time. I don't think it'll happen, but I kind of would want to see this match. I'd rather the interference be from the competitors themselves instead of Solo and Jimmy. Like like I don't know, Randy like RKO's LA Knight, and then it looks like he's about to pin him, and then let AJ Styles be the one that does something. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, let that be it. Don't let the focal point be Jimmy or Solo. Like, let it be those three that kind of squabble, and then Roman just picks it up. But I do want to see Roman pin all three of them, like pin them all
Stack
together.
up.
Yeah, stack them up and then just pin them. I think that'd be hilarious.
No, that'd be a nice way to show dominance too. And a nice little twist
Exactly.
there. I do like that. That's
Exactly.
why I keep saying you should be a story writer for WWE.
I I need to be introduced. Nick Khan, you know what's funny? So Nick Khan was on the Pat McAfee show, right? And I don't know if you know this, Gilbert. So Nick Khan was he had to go on Jeopardy or one of these he had no money. Like he had run out of money. He had no money for law school. He had to go on Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune. He
Really?
won money on one of those shows. He was able to pay for his law school, and that's how he was able to become an agent. Then Vince was able to pull him into WWE, and now him and Triple H are running that business. And man, they're killing it. But yeah, I definitely, I mean, I wouldn't even, I would pay them to be a story writer. I'd love to do that stuff. That stuff would be a lot of fun. But you got Roman also.
Yes, I do. I'll take my tribal chief.
You know what's funny, Gilbert, and I'm not trying to be an ass or anything like that, but I kind of feel like the wins were kind of taken away from LA Knight when Randy Orton and CM Punk came back. It kind of feels like those returns kind of took away a little bit from, I mean, he's still popular and fans still love him, but it just feels like the momentum kind of, and AJ Styles also kind of went away because LA Knight was huge, but then you have three big talents, and it's just one of those things where you're like, oof, like you know he's talented, but at the same time it's kind of been a bit of having three big names just come back. But all right, Gilbert, let's go to the next match.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know if you saw what happened today at the Performance Center, Gilbert, but a fight broke out.
All right. This is.
That's Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. They have a match scheduled at the Royal Rumble for the United States Championship. And Logan Paul throws some prime. And
Is it really Prime?
yeah, he threw some prime. And then there goes Kevin Owens and him, and they had to be separated. That's one way to sell a match.
I guess so. A nice product placement by Logan Paul. He never misses an opportunity to promote. That's why he's one of the best at promoting himself and him and his brother there. But yeah, you know what? Logan Paul, is good to see him, actually, take this seriously. He's in the training center there. A nice little touch there. And then Kevin Owens, who kind of feels a little bit like LA Knight, right? Like he was set for
Yeah,
superstardom and he just can't really get over that one last hurdle of being like a household. Obviously, he's very well known, but he doesn't always feel like a main event guy. And when you fight against Logan Paul and you kind of have videos like that, you're back in the spotlight. And maybe Logan Paul doesn't deserve that type of treatment the way Kevin Owens does, but he's proven himself as well, and it should be kind of a little heated, intense rivalry here.
that's why I told you. And I know I might have I put a TikTok out, I think a couple of months ago, where I said I give respect to Logan Paul. I mean, the guy's put in the work. I think he just signed a contract extension again with WWE.
Oh,
And he said he's going to be doing a lot more shows. I know he's done a couple of pay-per-views, but I think he said he's going to be doing more. And he said on Impulsive before, he's like, man, he was talking to John Cena about it, and he's like, I love doing this. He's like, and then John's like, dude, you're not going to find anywhere else where you get this. Like,
mhm.
he's like, and I've played football, I've done other stuff. He's like, there's just nothing when he's like, in what other sport are you closest to the fans like this? In what other sport can you do this? Can you do that? Do you get to talk to the fans? Like, he's like, there's nothing else like this. And Logan's like, yeah, you're right. So Logan right now is the United States Championship. He puts it up against Kevin Owens, and I think they're gonna have a good match. Kevin Owens obviously is an aggressive guy, but he's a big guy, but he's not scared to get up there and be a high flyer. So that's going to be interesting to see how they mesh in the ring. Kevin Owens, like Gilbert said, is one of the better wrestlers that WWE has, and they can count on him no matter what. So I can't wait to watch it. And then Logan Paul's a high flyer who he he has the slender body, but at the same time, he's a big dude. Like he gets out there and he can do a lot. So I've been very impressed with Logan. The match that impressed me with Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia, the match against Roman Reigns, where he went toe to toe with Roman and they put on a show. So I'm really impressed with Logan, and I really think that Kevin and him are going to put on a show stealing match, and I think Logan will retain. But I really am excited to see this match, Gilbert.
Yeah, no, same here, and you're spot on about Kevin Owens being such a technician in the ring, and and I think Logan Paul could hold his own as too, and like you mentioned, he's probably gonna win because it's a popularity contest. But hey, this is a good opportunity for Kevin Owens to keep showing, hey, I'm still that guy, and if you guys want to keep trying to screw me over, I'll keep putting in the work, I'll keep doing these stunners here, and I don't know how I feel about the stunner. Sometimes I'm like, he's a deserving guy. He definitely
Yeah.
you see him, he's a little husky, but he's so athletic. Well experienced in the ring, and it's good to him to be in the spotlight for a while. He was stuck with it was Sami Zayn, right? Sami
Yeah,
Zayn,
yeah, yeah.
and they're kind of like the partners there. So it's good for him to be back in the singles match. And going off what he was saying with to John Cena, like it's wild because you're right. Like it's a little bit of everything. It's like you get to be an athlete, you get to compete, you get to also hone in on your skill as a storyteller, an actor. And I feel like with John Cena, obviously, that kind of rush you won't get that on doing movies and doing a TV show or whatever it is, But he's older, so now he's doing a little more of that. Logan Paul is now starting to figure out like, oh crap, I'm also very personal, or as an outgoing person, but then
Personable.
also
Yeah.
yeah, personal. There you go.
Yeah.
But he's also, what? I kind of like to be competitive. I like to kind of show off my skills.
Yeah.
And he's probably seeing his brother Jake Paul in the boxing ring. He's like, oh crap, this is probably the way for me to kind of show everything, the YouTube and my personality, and then also my skills in the ring. But when it comes to Kevin Owens, when it comes to wrestling, he definitely has a heavy advantage with that.
Yeah, no, and boxing's cool and everything, but I mean, like boxing seems it's more of Jake's speed, and it feels like Logan's more of a wrestler. Like that's why I've been wondering. Like, remember at last year's WrestleMania in LA, there was that KSI was the one in the purple suit or whatever. I thought it was gonna be Jake Paul. Like I thought it
Yeah.
was gonna be Jake that was gonna do something crazy, and it ended up not being. But I've kind of been waiting for that crossover to see if Jake does anything with them. He hasn't to this point, but I've been really impressed. The only crossover that we have seen, Gilbert, is real quick. I don't know if you saw this. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Watch this real quick. Here it is. John, bro, what's up, man?
Here. John, bro. What's up, man? I wonder if that got him off guard. Like sometimes he forgets. Oh yeah, you can't see me.
So I guess so obviously John Cena went. I didn't know this. John Cena went to Puerto Rico to go record this the pod because Logan sometimes has done it at WWE pay-per-views wherever they're going to do a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He usually travels with his team, and they did it with Randy Orton. They did it in London, England, and they've done it before like that. So I thought maybe they were already in Tampa or something because John Cena has a house out there. I thought maybe they were already in Tampa, and he's like, "Thank you for inviting me to Puerto Rico," and I'm like, "Oh wow." So they were talking about this, and he's like, he tells his partner on the show, he's like, "Dude, you should have seen what Jake did to him." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Before we came here, we went to the gym, and Jake comes over, and he walks right by John, and John's kind of like, 'What the hell?' And he's like, 'Oh, you can't see me.'" And then John's like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "It happened back in '09, and he's like, "Look, it's been like almost 15 years, and people are still doing people still tell me they can't see me and stuff like that. It's just so funny." And yeah, it's like it literally is. It's taken a life of its own, and people are always like, "You can't see me." So it's so funny to see how that just has taken a life of its own. I remember Melvin Gordon used to do that, and I would ask him, "Why do you do that?" Because I mean, I knew. And he's like, "Oh, I'm a huge John Cena fan." I'd be like, "Oh wow, you watch wrestling?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I love wrestling." And he actually got a chance one time to do a video game thing with Kofi Kingston and some of the New Day guys, and I'd be like, "Oh wow!" So yeah, it was just interesting to see that John Cena just he embraces it. He's like, "I don't care about any of that stuff." Like he's like, people can do all that stuff, and I'm all about it. So he's a good guy. You can totally tell, but
I
yeah,
also I enjoyed his
Jake's a good guy.
not interview, a commercial with Gronk on
Oh,
where he's like, "Oh, should I leave?"
yeah.
He had like two lines and he was just there. It was pretty funny.
That's definitely yeah, it's just he's the dude's on everything now. I mean, Cena's all over the place, kind of the way The Rock was at the beginning, but kind of feel like Cena has a little bit more range when it comes to that kind of stuff. So they use him commercials, shows, everything.
Definitely
But
funnier, I'll say that.
yeah. All right, let's go now to the women's Royal Rumble. Gilbert, this one I'm really excited about this. Why are you excited, Fernando? Gilbert, there's a lot of possibilities with this match. And not I already have a winner in my head. So as of right now, Gilbert, WWE's being very smart about both Royal Rumble matches. They haven't announced many names. Why? I think they want everybody to be surprised and on edge. So they've only announced a couple of names for the women's match. They've announced Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Maxine Dupree, and Ivy Nile. Those are the only names. Gilbert, CM Punk returned a couple months ago. What if AJ Lee, his wife, returns to this Royal Rumble? She never went to go wrestle at AEW. She hasn't wrestled since. She's been on the TV show with Stephen Amell. I don't know if you've heard of that show
I haven't.
on Stars. There's a wrestling show on Stars. I can't remember the name of it, but CM Punk has been a guest on it. AJ Lee's been a guest on it. Stephen Amell's the guy from Arrow. He has a wrestling show, and they've been on it a couple of times. Cody Rhodes has been on it. No, Cody Rhodes is a friend of Stephen Amell. Whatever. Can you imagine if AJ Lee jumps in there? What if she returns? Remember Naomi, Jimmy Uso's wife? She just left Impact Wrestling. What if she appears? Gilbert, Sasha Banks.
The boss?
The boss. Mercedes Moné is how she's going about right now. Insiders keep on saying she's going to AEW. She's AEW. She hasn't appeared at AEW. She's going to New Japan. She did a couple of matches, but she hasn't done any of that.
Huh.
The Royal Rumble's right here. It's a new era. There's new. It's Triple H and Nick Khan running the show now. Why not?
Yeah,
There's a lot of interest with this women's match, man. I'm so excited.
It's been a while too now. Like the whole controversy with Naomi and Sasha Banks or Mercedes. You want to go with that, and then the one with AJ Lee. I guess I can see that too because CM Punk being back. But I was a big fan of Sasha Banks and Naomi too. So one of those three, I'm okay with that. And then, but does the AJ Lee have enough? Yeah, but you've been watching her on the show, so maybe she's been in shape.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of just going off of I don't know, man. I just really want to see her. I just really want to see her come back and I think it'd be exciting. I think WWE fans are really excited to see the possibility of her coming back. Maybe if it's just a one-off. Oh, also, who's come back recently also? Michelle McCool, the Undertaker's wife, she's kind of done Royal Rumbles as of late. She's supposed to be in attendance. I'm sure she'll jump in and do something. Trish Stratus. What about the big acquisition of last year, Jade Cargill?
Oh,
she came from AEW.
Yeah.
There's
one of my favorites.
I'm telling you. I think I'm more excited about the women's match than I am about the men's match because I ultimately think my prediction is that Bayley's going to win the match. And she's going to go on to face Io Sky. I know they're all teammates, but I think we're going to get a Triple H Batista kind of thing. And they're going to turn on her and she's going to end up facing them. But I think it's going to be Bayley that wins this match. But man, this women's match has so many opportunities. I'm so excited about this.
I was going to spoil your excitement. I'll do it anyway, just to kind of mess with you for a bit. But what if Ronda Rousey comes out for a couple seconds and then gets eliminated right away? No.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't care.
Retired, but yeah.
Well, yeah, she retired, and I think she's doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't think this is the type of show where you come in for a bit, right? And then you get eliminated and you go home.
Yeah. Because I mean, I don't think WWE needs her. Like WWE kind of needed her at one point, but now they just have so much talent.
That's the cool thing about seeing the women's division, like the rise of how deep and talented they are, and anybody could be a champion on any given night, and it's not just like I know with the men's you have Roman Reigns dominating, but it feels like a lot of handful of people. I'm like, I would not mind seeing them having a couple title reigns.
Mommy Rhea Ripley, she's the head of the Judgment Day. She's been the number one. She's the leader of the Judgment Day. She's the one running the women's division. and at a young age too. I mean, she is I think she's only like 26, 27 years old. So she's at the top of her game. That's why I told everybody, like, I know there's been in the last few years like a female sports movement and everything. I'm like everything, WWE's ahead of the curve there, because WWE started it in like 2015, 16 when they really started doing more and more with female wrestlers, and I think they've done a good job. And there's so much talent. I mean, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte main evented WrestleMania a couple of years ago. So I'm definitely excited about this women's match, and I cannot wait to see uh who wins it. But I ultimately think it's going to be Bayley that wins this match.
Who will be your second option? And then I'll vote for that person.
Second option. Choo. Who would be my second option? Oof, I don't know.
Is it that obvious? It should be Bailey? That predictable?
I think it is, man.
All right.
You know what? No. Who's the other champion? It's Mommy. Becky Lynch would probably be my second option. But the thing is, I don't think they'd have her win it because she just won it in 2020 or 2019. She won it.
Sure, that's already 4 or 5 years. You never know.
Yeah, but I think they want to set up her against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. So maybe Becky Lynch would be but one of these returning stars I think could end up
Yeah, you're right.
Sasha Banks winning it. Like, it would be epic.
I'm
Like, if
surprised
I
you
was
told me that she hasn't
WWE,
really done anything lately. I thought when she went to New Japan, that she'll be there for a while.
no, she hasn't. Like, she hasn't really done it. You know what's funny? I would do a Jade Cargill. I would love to see a Jade Cargill against Sasha Banks, against Naomi, against Bianca Belair, fatal 4-way for the women's match as like a main event, like the first all black women's match. Can you imagine? Like, that match would be ridiculous. Like, all them, like, that would be awesome to watch. But I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if Sasha Banks is going to come back or not this year. But I just think there's so many possibilities with this match that I'd love to see it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, even like I'm thinking about all the matchups and possibilities. That one you just laid out, I'm excited if that ever occurs.
Yeah. No, it definitely would be. You know what I'd love to see though, real quick? Rhea Ripley jump into this and her just be like, you know what? I'm gonna enter, and her come out, and even though she's champion, because there's no other matches, Gilbert. It's only the two matches that we already laid out as of right now, and
Why
the
not?
two. Why not? Like, just
Here, go face to face with Jade Cargill. How about that?
oh my god, that would be exciting. All right, let's jump over to the men's. Gilbert, the same thing with the men. It has only been announced that, well, here you got a little bit more. Tozawa, Kofi Kingston, Damian Priest, Otis, Chad Gable, Gunter, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Shinsuke Nakamura, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes. Gilbert, we haven't really spoken about this, but I was against CM Punk coming back.
I remember that.
And as of right now, I think he's done I think it's been good what I've seen from him. They said that he's been at the facility a lot, helping the younger talent. He's been all over the place trying to help these kids grow. I think that's fantastic. I guess like his mic work has been okay. I just, as a baby face, it kind of doesn't do it for me. I kind of like the heel. Now, when they put him in the ring with Seth Rollins, his promo, him and Seth Rollins going at it, loved it. Him and Drew McIntyre going at it, loved it. Him and Cody Rhodes going at it. Gilbert, if you haven't watched it yet, they come out and he's like, Cody, I want to talk about your dad. And everybody just goes, oh crap. He's like, your dad is the American dream. He's like, my dad was a plumber, and like an electrician. He's like, so the way I've made it in life, I'm more of the American dream. And everybody's like, oh crap. And then Cody's like, so remember that little pipe bomb you made? He's like, you just left. Like, you didn't do anything with it. I left and I created a whole company and actually did something about it. He's like, maybe I'm the leader of the masses. Maybe I'm the best in the world. And I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, all right. Like, here we go. So it was a pretty good back and forth. But Gilbert, this is what I'm excited about for this match. I don't know about surprises, just because the only surprise that I could really see is The Rock. The Rock and John Cena. Those are the only two surprises that I could really
Mm.
see where I could be like, oh crap. I'll tell you one thing though, that number 30, everybody's gonna be sitting there like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I know the name MJF has been thrown around a lot. I don't think
It is
Tony
2024
Khan,
already.
yeah, but I don't think Tony Khan would have let him just leave like that.
Yeah.
I think he signed him to a deal. Cody Rhodes did say recently though on a show or somewhere that he could see MJF in the WWE at one point because of the freedom that WWE now gives you. He feels like MJF could do a lot of great stuff in WWE,
Like as
and
a
I'm
rental?
telling you, huh?
Like a rental?
No. He thinks that He thinks that when his contract's up, he's gonna want to go to
Oh, because
WWE.
they okay, you could do more with your with personal space. Okay.
Yeah. And Cody said that it's a new day with WWE, that things have changed a lot. And Cody, man, I'm telling you, that dude's putting in the work. Like, yeah, he's wearing this. Yeah, he's great in the ring, but he's wearing the suit like a real businessman. Like, he's really helped bring some of these guys over, and he really opened the door for a lot of AEW talent to be like, you know what? Maybe it's not so bad over there. Maybe I do want to go over there. So those are the only ones that I could really see. The Rock, John Cena, Sami Zayn's been MIA for a little bit. Maybe he comes back, but there's nothing really where I could um where I could I don't know. I mean, is there a name that you would maybe want to see?
Trying to think of somebody who's not that old or washed, could maybe have some kind of a storyline, you know. I don't know. You know, I think they're set because when you're listing off all the competitors and you got to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, it's kind of like, well, it has to be one of those two guys. And it's very intriguing that it's two guys are kind of like who could win this thing here. And then I would say Cody Rhodes couldn't finish his story last year. CM Punk just came back. So I think they're set. And it kind of felt like even like what was it, last year's WrestleMania where they didn't have a lot of kind of like, you know, guest appearances because they have enough current talent, which is a good thing, right? It's healthy and doing well. So I don't think I really need one. When you said CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, I'm like, okay, cool. I want to see one of those guys get it. I don't know who would it be, but yeah, those was two intriguing storylines, and you know, I do.
You know what?
Go
I
ahead, you got
got
one?
one. Yeah, I just thought of one. Well, I kind of looked, but I kind of thought of one. Andrade, Charlotte Flair's husband.
Oh, okay.
He left AEW. He's been
Are you
talking
saying
about
left?
coming back to. They've been talking about him coming back to WWE. So maybe
Yeah,
he,
a
but
lot
it's
of
not like a
talent leaving.
huge. Yeah, it's not like a
Yeah,
huge one, but
yeah, but
I
still a
don't know.
surprise. And
Maybe
yeah,
Zack
but
Ryder, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, aka Matt Cardona. Maybe he comes there. I mean, there's just not like I'm telling you, it's like The Rock and John Cena would be the only. I mean, I'll tell you though, if number 30 pops up and it really is freaking MJF, like that stadium would erupt.
yeah, but it would be the end of AEW probably.
I know. But by the way, I did want to get something. I did want to. Oh, my prediction for that one. I think it's too obvious that Cody Rhodes or CM Punk would win. So
Really?
I'm gonna go Gunter.
Oh.
Gunter. I'm gonna say he wins. I just think the other one is way too predictable for some reason. So I'll
Yeah,
go with
Cody won it last year,
yeah.
and he still hasn't been champion, right? I haven't missed that, right?
No, he hasn't finished the story.
They'll find a way to get him into the main
I think at
event.
the Elimination Chamber and
Yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
yeah.
You don't want to have him win it 2 years in a row, but then they'll
No.
find a way to get him in there for
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
At the Elimination Chamber.
All right. Yeah, I
You're
can
gonna
see,
go CM
and I
Punk.
like Gunther. He's a good competitor too. He was, wiping the floor with some people on WrestleMania. I remember that. And then
Vicious.
even Royal Rumble last year, he won. He was one of the last competitors in Royal Rumble,
Yeah,
right?
he was. He
Yeah,
was.
maybe those two are at the end, and then he kind of sends
I
Cody
know.
over
Yeah, I
over the
know.
rope.
That's why I'm saying I think the last three competitors are gonna be Gunther, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes. But
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
here,
if The Rock is number 30, then everything gets thrown out the
yeah,
door.
yeah.
But
The Rock winning the Royal
um,
Rumble.
man, I'm
Man,
telling you though, the one thing I keep on dreaming of it, but if it really is MJF and he throws everybody out and he says, "I want Roman Reigns," like MJF Roman Reigns, like that would just be
see, I do
epic.
want to see that, but part of me kind of wants like I don't want to see AEW collapse. I kind of like a healthy
I know.
competition. You know the WCW
Competition's
days.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, neither would I. I'm just saying, like, it would just be like
yeah.
you always like
But
that's why I've always said, like, it'd be so sick if like AEW and WWE like would like swallow their pride and just for one paper, like
yeah,
do one pay-per-view together just so we could see
give us
like
Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather for one night.
exactly. Just give us one where like you can match up stars from both sides. But
But the thing about AEW that's kind of crappy is like they are building a good promotion, but there's always that itch for the superstars that have never been to WWE. They want to try it. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be too enticing for MJF down the road, even this year or whenever. But something's going to be in his contract, I bet. We're like, hey, you want me to be here? You gotta let me kind of try out some new
and
shows every now and then. It's
when
like a
they turned
rental
him
in soccer.
when they turned him babyface, he kind of cooled off a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
it was funny though. I like that he was able to do both though.
yeah, no, he's able to do both, but he had to do the babyface in a different, I don't know, in a different way. But I still remember when you texted me, you're like, "Who is this guy?" When you went to AEW in LA, you're like, "Who?" And then Tony Khan looked at you like if you were crazy when you told him you liked
But
MJF.
if I say it this time around, he's like, I'm cool with it. I like him. Man. He's my guy.
So who you got?
Uh, man, you know what? Why not? I'll go with CM Punk.
There
He's
you
he's
go.
the most recent return.
You'll probably be right though.
Yeah, why not?
I'm just going with Gunter, but I just think the CM Punk thing is too predictable, and I feel like Triple H now.
Yeah,
I think he's a lot more unpredictable. But before we do head out, though, I do want to remember, like, do a quick. I do want to talk about the Netflix thing. The 5-year deal that WWE signed with Netflix for Monday Night Raw. Gilbert, that's just WWE going into the future. They are always one step ahead of everything. I think. I know the NFL's teased with Monday Night Raw. The MLB's teased with their apps being on live stream, but I think WWE doing this is going to be pretty big, and I think they're thinking long term. So I think it's huge
yeah.
for them. I think it's a 5-year, $5 billion deal.
It's smart too because they know Netflix is kind of a global brand. Like, and the same thing with WWE. Like they're all over Latino America and they're in the UK. So all these places are going to be in Netflix. You're going to be if you live in those places, you get to watch on Netflix. So it kind of opens it to more international kind of level, which they already have with WWE. But they're smart, man. I love the way they kind of spread it out. Like when they got to the Peacock deal for the pay-per-views, because pay-per-views were pretty expensive. I was all for that. Cool. It's a new way to do it. You make money that way too, and then you still keep SmackDown on Fox for that bigger audience because people still haven't fully gone away from cable. Like you haven't, Fernando. I have,
Yeah,
but it kind of meets a little bit of both, right? We saw with NFL football not too long ago. People were pissed off, but the other part is probably like, cool. Finally, it's about time. WWE has having a good mixture of Fox, Peacock, Netflix. We'll see what happens with SmackDown down the road, but right now you have pretty much all your bases covered in terms of the Peacock one was a little risky because they're a new platform, but I'm sure it's worked out for the long run. And Netflix, we've seen what they've done. They were the first ones to do streaming, and it's just the way it is now. Like even like we see it in boxing. I'm seeing Amazon Prime Video Sports now with boxing. They announced their first card there. It's not the best pay per view, but they have a pay per view announced for March, and I'm excited to see how it looks. You got Thursday Night Football there as well. You got YouTube TV for Red Zone, so for NFL. So just the way it is, and but I don't know if people should not complain for Netflix because I feel like everybody has Netflix, right?
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, most people do. So if not, they should get it. But look at what Rhea Ripley, what she came out with. She's like Netflix and wrestle.
I think everybody would have said yes. So when?
Yeah,
Nah, man.
exactly. So yeah, she's getting the conversation started there. But just before we head out of here, I just wanted to remember something real quick because I think it's gonna be 4 years ago up to this point. I still remember it was the 26th when Kobe Bryant passed away.
That's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
January.
I'm remembering it because it was a Sunday and the Royal Rumble was that day, and I remember bummed out and everything, and uh the Super Bowl was in Miami, and I remember I had gotten to my hotel and I was so bummed out, and I just put on the Royal Rumble, and all of a sudden, like, I can't remember what entrant it was. It was number 20 or 21, and then Edge's music hit, and Edge had not been in the WWE for 8 years, and he came out, and I was like, oh my god, it put a smile on my face, and I was like, damn. So I just wanted to remember that because
Yeah,
it was
4
just
years.
crazy to see. Yeah, it was just crazy to see him come back, and then the tears in his eyes, like you could just tell he was so excited to be back. He never thought, and I remember I saw the documentary after, and he never thought he would come back, and to see his face and everything, I was like, oh my god. Like, I still watch that video today and I get chills from him coming back. So I'm like, damn. But I just wanted to remember that. I saw Ice Cube's
Yeah,
son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., the other day. He was talking about that because I guess WWE came out with a list and of best WWE returns at the Royal Rumble or whatever. And I guess Edge wasn't in the top 10. I'm like, are you kidding? That's the greatest return of all time, in my opinion. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's because he's at AEW that they didn't do it. But I'm
you
like,
should
that
probably get
thing
your
is like,
next time we get together, we should probably hear your list, your top 10, and you probably have a better one.
oof, I don't know. Yeah, no, I should come out with that, something like that. But I'm like, that one would be number one for me. Like, John Cena's obviously coming back so quick from a pectoral surgery. Yeah, that's number two. Like, that was crazy. But Edge returning after so many years, that has to be number one. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. But definitely awesome to get back and to talk a little Royal Rumble. I told Gilbert, give me 30 minutes of your time, and I took up 45. But obviously, we got into a lot of stuff. But we're gonna get into more stuff now that the football season's kind of chilled down. But make sure you guys keep on tuning in. We got some cool stuff headed your way, and you just never know what surprises we're gonna have in store for you guys. But thank you guys so much, and be on the lookout. Hit the notification because you never know what videos we're going to drop. So again, thank you guys so much for checking out Combat Compas. Enjoy Royal Rumble weekend. Thank you guys.